The Roman soldier you imagine only existed for a relatively short period. By the time of Emperor Marcus Aurelius, the appearance of the average Roman soldier had already begun to shift towards a style that heralded late antiquity. In the 3rd century, this trend continues. Soldiers regularly had long sleeves now. Closed bootlets also became the norm in border garrisons, such as along the Danube-Limes. For those soldiers not yet wearing trousers, leg wraps were a popular choice. A soldier of a higher pay grade or an officer would be awarded or able to afford a lorica minor, a lighter chest armor which we often see in depictions. We don't know how it was really built, but we can make a set of very educated proposals based on textual sources. Here we propose a combination of felted wool and linen as a base layer and a leather in between layer, topped off by a scale armor which, like in some written sources, our sentinel doesn't use while on guard duty. The iconic cingulum of earlier periods has been replaced by simpler ring buckle belts. For helmet liners, we have evidence of felted caps. The most iconic helmet of the 3rd century is the so-called Niederbiber type, probably the most protective helmet ever designed for the Roman army. It still reminds of earlier famous designs, but it encloses the face more and accentuates neck protection. Another big shift that happened already during the 2nd century was the widespread adoption by the infantry of the longer cavalry swords, the spatae. Oftentimes these swords are unjustly associated with a supposed barbarization of the Roman army, but in fact they were already in use in the Roman cavalry for a very long time. The sagum, trusty woolen cloak of the Roman soldier, was still a staple of his equipment on colder rainy days on the border. A notable shift happened also in shield design. The oval scutum form is often associated with late antiquity. However, this form was in use by various units already for a very long time, and it simply became the standard during the second half of the 2nd century. Times are always changing, and fashion and military equipment with them. Not everything that is unfamiliar is therefore necessarily less Roman.